There's a lot of pressure to wear the right clothes for every situation. But the clothes don't make the man. With Mack Weldon, you can build a wardrobe that looks polished in any setting and tells the world that you stay you wherever you go. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 25% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code MACK25. That's MackWeldon.com, promo code MACK25.
Business owners have to wear many hats, but mailing and shipping expert shouldn't have to be one of them. Hi, I'm Al Coe, CEO of Stamps.com, and that's exactly why we're in business. Small businesses are the lifeblood of our country, and it's an honor to lead the Stamps.com team that's focused on helping you thrive. We've helped over 4 million customers with a better way to manage mailing and shipping without having to waste time leaving the office. You can print stamps and shipping labels, manage tracking, and even schedule free carrier pickups, all from one simple dashboard. When you're running a business, every dollar counts and every second matters. That's why we're committed to delivering the best service, rates, and solutions for your small business. You give your best, and Stamps.com delivers the best in return. Go to Stamps.com to sign up for a special offer.
If you love entertainment, current events, and Hollywood, don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
Yo, S7GMA, Sigma, how you doing?
Welcome to the show. So first of all, I love going back to the beginning. I think the beginning kind of charts our trajectory and where we're going in life, like the little things and small habits that we pick up along the way kind of follow us when we're adults. Tell me a little bit about your childhood and what that was like, and then how did you kind of find your way into music?
Yeah, so back from the very beginning, born in North Philadelphia, uh, pretty bad spot to be. I was there until about 12 years old, raised by my mom and my grandma both. I got two siblings, my little brother, my little sister. Growing up, I actually wanted to be a cartoonist. And I used to draw a whole bunch. And from there, at 12 years old, moved over to Texas. And from Texas is where I started experiencing life a little bit more. I was able to go outside and things like that due to Philly being a bad spot to be. And I moved over around sixth grade, and then around seventh grade, I picked up music. But it wasn't up until like late eighth grade to where I was like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. And it started off with my friends making parody music and stuff like that, and I thought, anybody could do this. They uploaded like little fun music. It was like a Weird Al Yankovic type time, kind of like a Lonely Island and stuff. I'm on a boat, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, my friend Execute, he had dropped like an actually structured song, verse, hook and all with serious lyrics. And I was like, damn, I thought you was only able to do that with like, $1 million worth of equipment. You had to be signed by a label, and like, you got to be Lil Wayne to drop a real song. What?
Right.
And he was like, nah, just, he had Cool Edit Pro, a little rinky dinky software on the computer. He said, all you need is a mic and this software. So I was like, all right, then. I asked my mom, hey, Ma, you think I could go to Best Buy real quick? Get something for $10.
Right.
I went to Best Buy, and I lied my ass off. I ended up buying a $100 microphone, and the rest is history from there.
I love that. That's beautiful. And what do you say? Like, your parents were super supportive of the music journey that you were, trying to take on.
My mom wasn't. She at the beginning, she was like, oh, it's a cool thing. But I specifically remember her telling me, Danny, you need a career though.
Right.
Making music is cool, but you need a career, but she's real traditional. And at this part, she's like, you my star. I've always been her king. I've always been her star. But we always thought it'd be for something like either like write books, comic books, or being a cartoonist.
Yeah.
But she saw how persistent, dedicated I was, and how much passion I had into this, and she came around, and now she's one of my biggest supporters.
I love that. That's beautiful. I think sometimes that, they have to, especially parents, they have to see, like what you're doing. Because at first it's like, it's unheard of for a lot of people like make it in music. And when
Hmm.
somebody's like, because it's such a up and down industry, just anything, film, anything in the creative world is, people don't really understand it because it seems so like
Out of
so
touch.
far away and unreachable.
Hmm.
But when you're doing it and having fun, they're like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're working towards. I think that's always great. I remember like when I first started doing film, I started out PAing and then I got into film and got into cinematography, got my, degree and then moved into professionally. So it's like, of course, no
Like,
one sees the beginning. It's really hard work, but
honestly,
as long as you love it, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so you get into music. Did you always like hip hop? Is that just always been the love? And who inspired you to get into music as far as like artistry?
So initially, I really only listened to hip hop music growing up. My uncle used to show me like it was like during like the Carter 2 times, I by saying then we had like, my age, I was born in the 90s, so we kind of had the
Nice.
greats. We had prime time Akon, prime time Fat Joe, prime time Lil Wayne, prime time Eminem. Um and then when I came over to Texas, there was Drake and stuff like that. So I really thought hip hop was like it's the main thing to listen to.
Hmm.
Um and it wasn't until I came to Texas to where I started broadening my how you say my music library. I started listening to a little bit more of rock music.
Hmm.
Uh, I blame that one on probably hormones. Maybe it was like 3 Days Grace, Pain. You know what I'm saying? I started
Yeah.
stuff like that. I started listening to like pop, Jason Derulo,
Mm.
Chris Brown was always a big thing, but I never really differentiated things. I was a pretty oblivious child, and that's why I probably overthink and overanalyze a lot so much now. But yeah, I started branching out into a lot more in ninth grade. I had friends show me all types of stuff from pop. R&B was a big thing, but I always mixed in R&B with hip hop. It was always R&B and hip hop, not just R&B.
Right.
Um, but yeah, grew up on a lot of hip hop and rap, and then seventh, eighth, and ninth grade is where I really started venturing out into different things.
I like that. I'm a 90s baby too. I think 90s had some good music for sure.
Absolutely.
I think the music nowadays is kind of it's good. It's just different. Some of it is just like this Gen Z stuff. I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh man, I always tell people nothing. Yeah, nothing against the new kids and new music like that, but it's kind of like the same thing that would happen to jazz. It went from putting your heart into it to looking for a check, and I feel like
Yes.
that's what really broke things down. Same thing with the gaming community. Fortnite came out, Twitch got oversaturated. Everybody just wanted to play games to make money now. So
Right.
I feel like that's really what happened with the music industry as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's do you feel like the music world is changing in favor of the artist? Like, now artists can be have more freedom. I guess it depends on what route you take if you're not going the label route. But do you feel like indie artists can thrive if they just know how to like, you know,
Yeah, I did, but I feel like we're pivoting into where um people aren't getting the image anymore because it was always like be you, do what you want to do, be unique and be weird and whatnot, do whatever you want to do if that's what you want to do.
Mhm.
And I feel like people took that and didn't really look at the rubric of it, and and now they're just making literally anything and anything under the sun. And it's kind of like if and I'm so sorry to these new artists, but they're like, oh, I'm so sorry to the new artists, but being weird and being unique kind of now is transitioning into literally just make anything. Somebody's gonna love it, you know. So like they're not putting no heart, no lyrics. Nobody's writing anymore. Everybody thinks that they could freestyle. People got way too comfortable with punching in, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with punching in or anything like that, but literally, like I just feel like this it's watered down, and it went from watered down music to now I think producers are also just throwing loops together and cookie cutter drums and calling it a beat, throwing it on YouTube and allowing 60 rappers to hop on it, you know?
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, you know.
Um, do you feel like who's like one of your favorite rappers today? Do you feel like anybody now like speaks to the culture and like in a and saving it in a way?
New artists, not too much. However, you know, I'm still a big fan of those that got like Kendrick Lamar,
Okay.
despite you know everything that he just got into, I was a fan with "War Is My Love," the whole "Good Kid, Mad City" to "Pimp a Butterfly." People
Okay.
really sleep on "To Pimp a Butterfly."
Seriously.
And you know, Eminem is always up there. Um, Lil Wayne is up there, even though sometimes I see disrespect on the timeline on Twitter for Lil Wayne. I'm like, what do you mean he don't got no substance? Y'all just not listening.
Right.
You know, lot of the things that good artists say are going over people's heads, but I enjoy new artists. It's very solemn now, but you know, I like the Tommy Richmond. I like you
Nice.
know, like I said, I've been branching out. I like Shabuzi. I've been getting into a lot of like how you say like punk rock, like
Nice.
back to the roots. I've listened to the new Fall Out Boy album, Bring Me the Horizon album, and even though Lil Nas X has a lot of mainstream songs that aren't really touching people, and I can agree with them. But his Montero album, there's a lot of gems on there that he just didn't promote, and I wish he would have went that route. But yeah, I about to say, like I said, I've been dipping into a lot.
I love that. I love that. And I think that's great. It's like great artistry when you can listen to different types of music. Because I think you know music transcends everywhere. Like like you know, and you add that on to your artistry as a
Mhm.
as your own artist. Let's get a little bit about to your single. Sorry. Tell me a little bit about that and what inspired that single.
So sorry, I made the beat and started writing sorry 2 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So and then you know, I did uh put it on hiatus because I was dealing with so much with my father passing, and then one of my friends and managers, Jay, being killed, and then the same day I found out about he was killed. You know, my friend he lost his newborn,
Wow.
so yeah, exactly the same day too. So it was a pretty tough time. So I did put music on a hiatus, and I just went back to you know I was like you know what, I'm gonna get famous somehow. So I thought, you know, let me go ahead and be a gimmick. I started making commercial music, try to have a little bit more fun with it, and try to uh fake it till you make it. You know,
Yeah.
break my way into that door. Then once I was in that door, I figured then I could come out with the real stuff. And that was last year. Then I was just like, you know what? uh, let's get back to me because you could give people what they want and they
Right.
might not want it. So at the beginning of the year, I locked myself in my room for a good 3 months until March, and then one of the first songs that I went back to finish was "Sorry," and you know, fix it up, redid some vocals, remastered it, finished the beat, added a little bit more cinematic and healing sounds to it. At the very beginning,
Nice.
you could hear like a healing bowl.
Love that.
um, yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, and then that's when I started just making a whole bunch of like tough love, aggressively motivational music. And like yeah, yeah, sorry was one of those. And it went from, you know, just a time don't wait for nobody type song, like a sad, real transparent song. And then you could hear it in the second verse, you know, I start getting aggressive. The voice starts getting a little bit more tough and raspy. You know, sorry that you had to go through what you went through just to get here.
Right.
And that was the second half. You know, because at the beginning of this year, I really had to snap myself out of that. You know, you could be angry, you could be sad. That's okay. You know, you could be selfish. That's okay. However, you can't allow it to turn you into a rock. You can't just stay
Right.
still. You know, and I had a good talk with my brother last year, late last year, November, December, and he was basically saying, you know, you got to keep the ball rolling. You got to get that momentum and keep the ball rolling, no matter what it is. You gotta fire a pen. So don't just get out your head, really.
Right, right, absolutely. I love that. I love that you made this song and yeah, very from first of all, the beat's just crazy. It's awesome beat. And
Thank you.
what like as far as like when it comes to music when and being in a zone, because I'm a perfectionist. Like how do you know when something's done? Like you're like, all right, I'm done. I better not tweak it anymore. I can't add any more, anything else to it.
Yeah. Oh, so I got a bad problem with that one. But I usually sit on the song for a good uh anywhere from a couple weeks to a month.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
yeah, honestly. And like I produce everything, I mix and master, record everything, but I listen to it on different speakers, make sure that everything is tight. And if I'm listening to it, whether I'm in the car and unconsciously I'm making a different melody to the vocals, or if I'm like, oh damn, I could have added something right there. If I'm still doing that, then it's not done. I could differentiate when I'm doing too much, but when I start getting goosebumps from my own songs, and it's just like, wow, I killed that, or damn, I made that beat. That's when I know, it's time to go ahead and make that cover art and set it up for release.
I love that. I love that. That's a good process. I like that. Um, what do you want people to walk away with when they listen to this single?
Uh, shoot, almost the same feeling as like replay value, especially with Sorry, because it's such a short song.
Right.
But I really would like almost, but better yet, like a reflection. Like, damn, that was hard.
Right.
You don't necessarily gotta replay it, but it's like, they caught something out of it, whether if it was the lyrics, or the experiences that I put inside of it. Like, damn, he, what I'm saying, you heard that he lost his pops,
Right.
something like that. But this just have it resonate with them. And because mainly Sorry and Now and the whole project Minded Me, it's really a message to myself,
I love
you
that.
know and if somebody else can also sit back and not only reflect on like damn, maybe I do need to get up off this couch and get to it, then
Yeah.
then then
Yeah.
that's what I need them to do. It's that tough love, that motivation, make them want to get up and pick up a pen. When Kendrick dropped Control,
Yeah.
everybody was like, damn, I need to get back in the studio. That's what I want. I want
Right.
them to, like, appreciate that it was so good that they need to get up and go do something right now.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. It's like inspires people to want to do better for themselves. And yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
That's what it's about, right? That's what it's about. Like if we have these platforms and the micro level of influence that we have, or whatever influence
Hmm.
we have, when someone listens to it, your hope is that they walk away with, I don't know, like whatever that message is that you wanted to get out, someone will understand. And I think that's what all we can do, right? With the platform that we are given.
Absolutely.
A fun question.
Hmm.
With the beef of Kendrick Lamar, and I just had to do it. I just had to go because you're a hip hop head, you know your stuff.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that when it first dropped? Were you like floored? Honestly, I did. I haven't actually listened to the whole Diss album, and my friends were like, "Are you crazy?" Everyone was talking about it. I was like, "Well, I guess my life has just been in another world." But I heard about it, but I just never
Mhm.
really understood, why. Do you feel like rap beef is actually necessary?
Depending on the artist, yes. With the Drake and Kendrick Lamar thing specifically, I feel like this was something that hip hop needed,
Yeah.
because we don't really see new rap artists anymore, hip hop artists anymore, or people actually spitting like their life depended on it.
Yeah.
And if we do hear that, it's women rappers. They've been blowing up. Shout out to them, like Meg Thee Stallion, Lotto,
Yeah.
Mona Leo. They go. They're really carrying
Glorilla,
the torch right
that
now.
new one.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, Glorilla. Yeah, Glow. You know what I'm saying? They're really killing stuff right now. So for Kendrick Lamar and Drake, to be doing that, I'm excited. Everybody else is like, "Oh, what side you picking?" I'm not picking a side. I'm a listener. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not claiming OVO. I'm not claiming, Kendrick Lamar. I'm not from Compton. I'm happy that they're waking up a lot of people. They
Mhm.
dropped, and then all of a sudden, Big Sean dropped. All of a sudden, Eminem is dropping. All of a sudden,
Right.
everybody want to rap again. So it's a very exciting time, and I appreciate it. Um, and it made Drake get off the hands on your knees, shake that for Drake and shake that
Right.
for me.
Right.
It took him away from that, and it made him really start spitting again, which I love because like I said, being from the '90s, I seen Drake come in with On One, Over, Find Your Love. Like he had some great music, so for him to
Oh
pick
yeah.
up the pen and do that again, it was crazy. And then to bring Kendrick Lamar back from the shadows and really be, you know the villain that we want to be.
Right.
It's yeah, it's an amazing thing going on right now.
No, you're right. It is like if you look at it in that way, it is like actually kind of fun and exciting in a way. So you bring back the excitement of it all and not the I mean, yeah, we use this catalyst of the beef, I guess, but the beef actually brought back, the positive like side of like competitiveness is not actually a
Exactly.
bad thing. It
Exactly.
doesn't have to be viewed and looked at as a bad thing. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's a great point. What the three levels of influence,
Mhm.
money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Respect, and it's crazy that you say that. Well, I answer respect, and because I feel like respect will bring the rest, no matter what, you
Yeah,
know. And with respect, you can't really be told no. and
right,
and if you got that respect, and respect is given where it's due, then you got to be that man. Power is cool, but with power comes yes man. So with yes men, you never know if you're actually doing wrong or not. um and then money can buy anything, so people might just be saying yes and giving you that respect and whatnot because of money, but they could turn around and stab you in the back. But
right.
with respect, you could turn your back around and be comfortable, so to
Absolutely.
speak. And it's funny that you say that because a lot of the times, I tell people I wish we could just bring back money. Me and saying money, power, and respect. We need that back again because it's not. It's all about power, money, and popularity now.
Absolutely.
There's no respect in it at all.
You're right.
Um. So yeah, respect for sure.
I like that. It's a great answer. And I really enjoyed like listening to your take on it because it is that it's like it's a healthy outlook because that's so true.
Mhm.
Nowadays we're living in a time where, like you said, popularity, it's not even about anything else but just to be seen or like I don't know how we even got here. Maybe society, maybe the culture, or maybe it's the agenda that they're pushing on people to try to fit in or be seen. I think a lot of times it starts within ourselves. Like a lot of times we're searching other things for validation.
Mhm.
And I like that. It is that. And once you know yourself, you can just be comfortable with who you are. And I think that's how that's how you get fans. People resonate. They're like, that person's being real.
Exactly.
And we need more of that. We really do.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, this popularity contest in the entertainment industry is ridiculous right now.
Do you feel like do you feel like it's changing, like for the better, or you think it's just here to stay? Like Hollywood perpetuates this this narrative.
Uh, I do feel like we're taking a pivot at the moment.
Okay.
Um, However, I don't think anybody else sees it. So
Mm.
we probably won't actually get there until maybe 2025, mid 2025. However,
Like an
uh,
overall awakening of
yeah,
consciousness.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I do feel like we're getting there, honestly, and I've talked about that a lot, because like I said, a lot of things are watered down now, and I do think that it's because everything is so easily just easily accessible,
Right.
and that's down to anything. And that's people are really getting out of touch with things due
Yeah.
to them being so in demand. Movies are in demand now. You can, open up, you can watch whatever movie you want, just scroll on Netflix.
Yeah.
um you could listen to whatever song you want. Just go on the Apple, go on Spotify real quick, go on YouTube. Everything is so easily accessible now. um you could shop on your phone, listen on your phone, you could
Yeah.
complain on your phone, you
Right.
do everything with one touch. And that's really just like torching people's brains. You see one tweet, and all of a sudden that's the way of life. uh like, yeah, the standards are changing all because of one person said it,
Yeah.
and another person agreed with it, but nobody's taking reputation into accountability, or you just like their variables are disintegrating. And that goes back to the respect thing. One person could say something, but just because he has a million followers, it's like, oh, let's go with his point of view. Like, how about we think for ourselves real quick? How about we,
Thank you. Thank
and
you. But see, that's the thing is I don't think people are because like you said, it's oh God, this person has a lot of followers and
Mhm.
or this person has this platform, so he must be right. No, he can totally be wrong, or that could be his own opinion, and you can actually have your own. Like you're absolutely
Exactly.
right. But I don't know. I don't know. Society, people just want to fit in so badly, so
And they don't
badly.
even see it. They don't even see
They
it.
don't even see it. And even the ones that say, "Oh, I see it," are still doing it.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Subconsciously speaking, it's kind of interesting. It's a very interesting study. But what do you want as far as like in the next 5 years for your music to go? Like, what direction do you want it to? What do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, honestly, I see myself touring. Um, Literally, just like I said in the song now that I released before, sorry, my family in the crowd. I just got to keep my patience and keep living through the now. I see greatness because I've invested a lot of time. I've been manifesting a whole bunch, and like I said at the beginning of this year, I locked myself in my room for 3 months and just gathered this whole project, gathered all this music, and just started releasing. And it's looking like everything is happening, maybe not exactly how I wanted, but everything, the momentum has not stopped, and I don't see myself stopping that. I'm calculated into next year, so in the next 5 years, I see myself, being a household name, one of the top five artists that you just
Heck
have
yeah.
to talk about,
Heck yeah.
whether you hate it or not. If people hate on me, and that's why I'm in the conversation so often, then keep hating, because haters are
Right.
your biggest supporters.
Right. Absolutely
Yeah,
they
that's
are.
that's 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 free promotion right there. Hey, you listen to that new
Absolutely.
Sigma? Oh, that's trash. Let's throw it on. Let's give them a
Right.
stream and hate on it.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead, keep on hating, because eventually, um, yeah, haters are motivators.
They
So in
are.
5 years, I definitely see myself selling out Madison Square Garden, sitting up there with the greats, getting chilling at parties with Russ or whatever it may be. But I see myself up there, top five for sure.
Absolutely. And you have to. I mean, that's how I see myself. I always say, someone says, what's your success? Like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm going to be the next Oprah. And there's nothing wrong with that. And they're like, oh, that's delusional. Well, I think you got to be a
Nah,
little crazy in order to have to do what to do that kind of stuff, and you
exactly.
can't listen to the naysayers because those are the ones. I mean, they're going to always be around all the time, right? They're
Hmm.
going to always be there to support you. So they're going to be the ones that buy your song, even though they're like, I hate it, but they're buying it. So they're supporting you from a
Exactly.
distance. It's
Right.
good.
Just because you doubt yourself, don't mean that I also have to doubt me. Just because you can't
Exactly.
see it, don't mean that I can. We're two different people, two different entities.
Absolutely. I love that. What advice would you give to those an artist out there that's trying to get into music?
uh Bet on yourself, and bet on yourself. Literally, just like you said, be delusional about it. Bet
Yeah,
on yourself. Sometimes, insanity is necessary. uh we're not our flaws. We are who
right,
we are because of our flaws.
right.
But ultimately, bet on yourself, believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, nobody got you like you. Time don't wait for nobody. So get up and do it now.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. Great advice. Where can people find you on social media, following everything you got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram, Twitter, S7GMA, Facebook and TikTok, S7GMA Music, Sigma Music, um, literally everywhere. I'm Googleable. I got the little artist panel coming up.
Yeah.
We got Welcome, the next release dropping in August, third installment of the project Mind of Me dropping in November.
Nice.
And we're also performing in Austin. Come and take it live, August 29th.
All right. Congratulations. That's exciting
Thank you.
stuff. A lot of things to look forward to. Please come back in the future. You're amazing. Keep killing it. And thank you so much for dropping those gems and sharing your journey with us. It's always lovely hearing stories, and I really enjoyed yours today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Big time.
Of course, of course. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time.